Have you ever felt like something unseen was working against you? Like every time you start to rise, something invisible pulls you back down? You try harder, you push forward, but obstacles appear out of nowhere. Your plans collapse, your peace disappears, and you can't explain why. Deep down, you sense it's not just bad luck or coincidence, it's something heavier, something spiritual, a quiet battle happening around you that no one else can see, but you can feel it in your heart. There are moments when darkness tries to whisper lies into your mind, telling you that you're not enough, that you'll never make it, that there's no point in believing anymore. You wake up tired, not just in your body, but in your soul. You feel drained, disconnected, uncertain about your purpose. You start to question your strength, your direction, your worth. And yet, a small voice inside you still hopes, still prays, still believes that light is greater than darkness. That no matter how strong the storm feels, there is a higher power watching over you. You are not imagining the battle. You are not overreacting to your pain. What you're feeling is real. Life isn't only physical, it's spiritual. There are unseen forces that rise against peace, love, and faith. They try to plant confusion in your mind, fear in your heart, and doubt in your spirit. But what they don't know is this: every attack that comes against you can be broken by the power of prayer. Every evil assignment formed to destroy your peace can be canceled by the name that is above every name. Right now, you might feel surrounded by problems, but you are also surrounded by divine protection. You are not fighting alone. Every time you pray, you invite heaven to step into your situation. Every time you speak words of faith, you push back the darkness that's trying to close in. Prayer is not weakness, it's your greatest weapon. It shifts the unseen. It calls light into places where shadows have lived for too long. So if you're feeling tired, if life has pushed you to the edge, don't give up. You were never meant to fight this battle in your own strength. You were meant to rise in faith, to stand firm, and to let divine power go before you. Because when you pray, you don't just speak words. You release a force that cancels every evil plan working against your life. You begin to silence the noise of fear and awaken the sound of victory. Stay here, listen closely. Because before this message ends, you'll not only understand how to fight back, you'll feel peace again. The kind of peace that no storm can take away. The kind of strength that fear cannot shake. What you're about to hear is more than motivation. It's a reminder that you are not helpless and you are not unprotected. There is power waiting to move through your prayer. There is light ready to break every dark assignment set against you. And before this message is over, that power will begin to awaken inside you. Evil assignments don't always appear in obvious ways. They often hide behind ordinary moments. When fear suddenly grips your heart, when confusion clouds your decisions, when doubt starts to whisper that your dreams are impossible. They come as distractions, as disappointments, as quiet thoughts that drain your hope little by little. You tell yourself it's just life, just bad timing, but deep inside you know there's more to it. Something unseen is trying to keep you from becoming who you were created to be. There are forces that feed on fear, that thrive on your hesitation, that want you to question your purpose until you no longer move forward. They want to silence your prayers, make you believe that your faith doesn't work, that your words have no power. But the truth is the opposite. The moment you recognize the battle, you begin to win it. Awareness itself is victory, because what you can see, you can confront. What you name, you can break. Darkness only has power when you refuse to acknowledge its presence. Every evil plan begins in silence. It waits for you to lose focus, to stop believing, to stop praying. That's when it grows stronger. But prayer, real, intentional prayer, exposes it. When you pray, you shine light into hidden places. You bring order to chaos. You remind the unseen world that you are not defenseless. You carry the authority of faith. Prayer is not a ritual. It's a declaration of strength. It's a signal to heaven that you choose light over fear, peace over confusion, victory over defeat. Think about how many times you were close to giving up, but somehow found the strength to continue. That wasn't luck. That was grace. That was protection working on your behalf. Every time darkness tried to take your peace, something inside you pushed back. That resistance wasn't random, it was divine. You have always been guarded by something greater than what fights against you. And every prayer you've ever whispered, even through tears, has built a wall of strength around your life. You don't need to see the entire battle to know it's being fought. You just need to stand in faith long enough for the light to break through. Evil assignments lose power when they meet a heart that refuses to give in. When you choose faith over fear, you disrupt the enemy's plan. When you speak life over your pain, you cancel the negativity that tries to surround you. When you pray with conviction, heaven moves. So whatever darkness has tried to settle in your life, whatever heaviness, confusion, or fear has tried to follow you, this is your reminder that it cannot stay. You were never meant to live in constant attack. You were meant to live covered, guided, and protected. Your prayer is your line of defense. It's your light in the storm. And the moment you begin to use it with belief, every evil assignment starts to crumble. Keep your faith alive. Speak words of power. Refuse to let negativity decide your destiny. You are not the target, you are the victor. You were never created to be defeated by darkness. You were created to overcome it. Every time you pray, you remind the world and the unseen realm that light always wins. One prayer can change everything. One moment of genuine surrender can shift the course of an entire life. Because prayer is not about the words you speak, it's about the power behind them. It's about faith so real that heaven begins to respond. The most powerful prayer doesn't come from someone who knows what to say. It comes from someone who means every word. It comes from a heart that's tired of fighting alone and ready to let God take control. That kind of prayer shakes the unseen world. It cancels every plan that darkness ever set in motion. There's something sacred about the moment when your soul finally stops running and starts reaching. When you stop trying to fix everything yourself and start asking for help from the one who sees all things. That moment of honesty opens the floodgates of divine strength. Because God doesn't respond to perfection, He responds to sincerity. You don't have to sound holy. You just have to be real. You just have to come as you are, tired and trembling, and say, I can't do this without you. That is the kind of prayer that breaks through every wall, that silences every evil voice whispering that you're not enough. Prayer has no distance, no limits, no barriers. It can reach places you'll never walk. It can protect people you'll never meet. It can shift outcomes before they even happen. When you pray, you give permission for heaven to interfere with what hell intended. You interrupt cycles of fear, of loss, of confusion. You replace chaos with divine order. That's why the enemy tries so hard to silence prayer, because he knows it's the weapon that destroys every plan he designs. You may have felt like your prayers haven't been answered yet. But what if the answer didn't disappear? It's simply being prepared. What if heaven has already moved, but the timing is aligning with something greater than you can see? Every prayer you've prayed in faith is a seed planted in the soil of your future. It might not bloom immediately, but it's growing roots deep in the unseen, preparing to rise at the perfect time. God's silence is never absence. It's strategy. It's alignment. It's strength being built within you before victory appears around you. When you pray, your spirit begins to remember who you are. You remember that you are not powerless, not forgotten, not unworthy. You remember that the same power that raised light out of darkness lives inside you. You begin to walk differently, think differently, and speak differently. You stop agreeing with fear and start agreeing with faith. You stop surviving and start conquering. That's what prayer does. It transforms you before it transforms your situation. Keep your faith steady. Speak your prayers boldly. Believe that every word released in faith creates ripples in the unseen that will eventually touch the visible. Don't underestimate what can happen when you pray with your whole heart. One prayer can rebuild what years of struggle tried to destroy. One prayer can silence what generations of pain tried to continue. One prayer can open a door no darkness can close. Because when your faith connects with divine power, every evil assignment loses its hold, and the impossible begins to unfold. True power begins when you stop fighting everything on your own and start surrendering it to the one who knows how to win battles you can't even see. Surrender isn't giving up. It's handing over the weight that was never meant for you to carry. It's laying down the constant need to control, to fix, to understand every detail, and instead saying, God, I trust you with this. That trust is strength. It's peace disguised as power. Because the moment you surrender, you stop reacting out of fear and start responding out of faith. There's a deep freedom that comes when you let go. The mind stops racing. The heart starts healing. The chaos that's been shouting inside begins to quiet down. When you surrender, you create space for divine intervention. You invite strength beyond your limits, wisdom beyond your understanding, and calm beyond your circumstances. You stop trying to be the answer and allow the answer to move through you. You stop trying to play God and start resting in the truth that He already is. Humans are wired to crave control because control feels safe. But in reality, control often feeds anxiety. The more we try to manage every outcome, the heavier life feels. Psychology teaches that the mind finds peace not in certainty, but in trust. When you surrender through prayer, you rewire your thoughts to let go of fear's grip. You remind your nervous system that you're not in danger. You're in divine hands. You begin to live from a place of confidence that doesn't depend on circumstances. You stop waiting for the world to be calm before you feel peace, because peace starts within you. When you surrender, it's not weakness, it's alignment. You're aligning yourself with a power that already knows how your story ends. You're saying, I choose faith over fear. I choose rest over resistance. And the moment that shift happens, something inside you changes. The pressure lifts, the fear loses its voice. You start walking through battles with calm assurance instead of panic. You start realizing that victory doesn't always mean fighting harder. It often means trusting deeper. Look at the battles that once broke you and notice how far you've come. You've survived things that were meant to destroy you. You've walked through darkness that tried to consume your light, yet here you are, still standing, still breathing, still capable of faith. That's not coincidence, that's grace. Every scar you carry is proof that surrender works, that letting go doesn't mean losing. It means choosing peace over struggle, purpose over pain. When you learn to release everything to God, the fear, the doubt, the anger, you make room for miracles to enter. Because faith and fear cannot live in the same space. One must leave for the other to grow. Every time you surrender, you push fear out and welcome strength in. Every time you choose prayer over panic, heaven moves closer. This is the kind of surrender that transforms your heart from restless to resilient. It teaches you that true courage isn't the absence of fear. It's moving forward while trusting God to handle what you cannot. It's walking through the storm knowing that the wind may be strong, but your foundation is unshakable. When you surrender, you stop asking, what if I lose? And start believing, what if I'm already protected? Because in that moment of release, heaven begins to fight for you. Fear is the quiet voice that tries to convince you that surrender was a mistake. It creeps in after moments of peace, whispering that things won't work out, that you'll be hurt again, that the light you feel won't last. Fear feeds on imagination, turning what could be beautiful into something terrifying before it even happens. It magnifies every doubt, every memory of failure, and it uses them to chain you to the past. But fear is not truth. Fear is a shadow pretending to be substance. It disappears the moment you choose to face it with faith. Prayer is the light that dissolves fear. It doesn't always erase the problem, but it gives you a power greater than the problem. When you pray, you're not ignoring reality. You're reprogramming it. You're shifting your focus from what scares you to who strengthens you. Science tells us that when a person prays with deep faith, the brain begins to calm, the heartbeat slows, and stress hormones decrease. That's not coincidence. That's divine design. You were created to connect with something higher, to find peace not by control but by trust. Every moment you spend in prayer is a moment you take back from fear. Fear wants your attention because your attention gives it energy. Whatever you feed grows. Feed fear and it multiplies. Feed faith and fear starves. When you speak words of power, I am protected, I am chosen, I am not afraid, you're not just reciting affirmations. You're commanding your spirit to remember who it belongs to. Fear cannot coexist with a mind anchored in divine truth. Every time you declare faith out loud, the walls that fear built begin to fall. You've lived long enough to know that fear is a liar. It told you that you wouldn't make it before, and yet, here you are. It told you that you'd never heal, and still you did. It told you that you'd never find peace, and now peace is within reach. You have survived every worst-case scenario your mind ever imagined. That means fear has never truly won. Every time it tried to hold you down, something greater within you rose up. That something is faith, quiet, steady, and unbreakable. The goal is not to never feel fear. The goal is to stop letting fear decide what happens next. Feel it, acknowledge it, and then hand it over to God. Let faith answer the questions fear creates. Let prayer fill the spaces anxiety tries to occupy. You are not weak for being afraid. You are strong for choosing to rise anyway. Courage doesn't mean you don't feel fear. It means fear no longer controls your choices. Right now, you are being refined, not ruined. Every time fear pushes, faith is learning to push back harder. Every breath you take in prayer sends a message into the atmosphere. I am not defeated. You are rewriting your internal story, one where fear no longer sits on the throne of your heart. You are stepping into a life where peace leads, where confidence grows, and where darkness no longer dictates your path. The moment you refuse to bow to fear, you begin to walk in freedom. And that freedom becomes the loudest declaration that no evil force, no dark thought, and no hidden attack can ever silence a soul anchored in faith. Victory begins the moment you declare it. Too often, people wait for circumstances to change before they believe they can win. But the truth is that declaration creates reality. When you speak with faith, when you proclaim, I am protected, I will not be defeated, every plan of darkness against me is canceled. You are not wishing for safety, you are stepping into it. Words are more than sound, they are the instruments of transformation. Every syllable spoken in faith reverberates through the unseen and begins to shape the world around you. Declaring victory before it happens is not arrogance, it is alignment. It is aligning your spirit with the power that already knows the outcome. When you speak as though the fight is already won, you train your mind to see opportunities instead of obstacles. You train your heart to feel courage instead of fear. Your energy shifts from reaction to authority. Every evil assignment set against you begins to falter when it meets a voice unwavering in faith, a soul refusing to surrender, a heart anchored in truth. Faith-filled declarations are not empty words. They are commands issued from a place of divine connection. Each one creates a shield that no darkness can penetrate. Each one calls your hidden strength to the forefront. Each one signals to the universe and to every unseen force that you will no longer be moved by intimidation or delay. When you consistently declare victory, you disrupt patterns of fear that have tried to define your life. You break chains that have lingered silently, and you open doors that have been blocked for too long. Every time you affirm protection, guidance, and success, your spirit remembers who it belongs to. Your heart rises above uncertainty because you are no longer bound to the opinions, doubts, or threats around you. You are stepping into a reality where faith governs your steps, where light guides your decisions, and where power flows through prayer into every corner of your life. The unseen cannot overpower a heart that is loud with conviction. Darkness flees from certainty, confusion collapses under clarity, and evil assignments fail when met with words spoken from unwavering trust. Think of the mental shift that happens when you declare victory. Fear loses its grip. Anxiety retreats. Your mind stops replaying every worst-case scenario and begins seeing what's possible. Your energy moves forward rather than backward. You stop waiting for signs or miracles because your words themselves become the first spark of change. Each declaration is a seed planted, and seeds grow into harvest when nourished with consistent belief. Every time you speak truth over yourself, you are cultivating the life you were meant to live. This is the essence of spiritual power, choosing to speak life and protection even before the battle is over. It's refusing to bow to darkness, refusing to agree with fear, refusing to give energy to what cannot prosper. You are stepping into a space where faith outruns doubt, hope overwhelms despair, and light overtakes shadow. Your declarations are not just prayers. They are affirmations of destiny, anchors of courage, and shields against every evil scheme. When you begin to speak with authority, you feel it in your body, in your spirit, and in the air around you. There is a resonance that cannot be ignored. That resonance says, I am here. I am protected. I am victorious. Every hidden enemy, every silent attack, every plan meant to derail you will crumble under the weight of consistent, faith-driven declaration. You are not waiting for life to grant victory. You are claiming it. And that claim is unstoppable when it comes from a heart that refuses to be defeated. Living under divine protection changes everything. It does not mean life becomes easy or that challenges disappear. It means no force, no scheme, no darkness can destroy your peace. When you anchor your life in prayer, you build an invisible shield around your mind, heart, and purpose. That shield is stronger than any fear, louder than any doubt, and higher than any obstacle. It does not protect you from effort, but it protects you from defeat. It does not remove storms, but it keeps your soul steady in the middle of them. Protection begins with consistency. Daily prayer, daily surrender, daily declarations of faith. These are not habits, they are lifelines. Each one strengthens your connection to a power greater than circumstance. Each one reminds you that the unseen is more real than what you can touch. The quiet moments you spend lifting your fears, frustrations, and dreams in prayer are the moments that fortify your spirit. They build resilience, confidence, and courage that cannot be shaken by sudden trials. Living protected means living intentionally. It means choosing faith when the world whispers doubt. It means speaking life when negativity surrounds you. It means forgiving when anger tempts you and loving when fear tells you to withdraw. These are not small acts. They are extensions of your spiritual armor. Gratitude becomes a shield against despair. Kindness becomes a shield against hostility. And unwavering trust becomes a shield against uncertainty. Every act of faith strengthens the protection that surrounds your life. The power of protection is psychological as well as spiritual. When you know you are covered, your mind begins to operate differently. You see possibilities instead of problems. You act decisively instead of hesitating. You sleep with peace instead of restlessness. Your thoughts no longer run wild with what-ifs because you know the answer is already in motion. Every prayer you speak cultivates this confidence, rewiring your brain to focus on solutions rather than fear. The invisible support you call upon begins to manifest in visible ways, guiding your steps, opening doors, and aligning your circumstances with your purpose. Divine protection also empowers you to face life courageously. When you live under this shield, you can pursue your dreams without trembling. You can confront challenges without despair. You can stand in the face of adversity and declare that your destiny is secure. The enemy may attempt to unsettle you, but the moment you remember your coverage, their tactics lose effectiveness. Your confidence becomes a living testimony that no evil plan, no unseen assignment, no shadow can prevail against a heart anchored in faith. This protection is not passive, it is active. It requires you to speak, believe, and act in alignment with what you pray for. It asks you to lift your words, to live with integrity, to walk boldly, and to trust deeply. The more intentional you are in your prayers and declarations, the more solid your protection becomes. You are building a life that cannot be shaken, a mind that cannot be swayed, and a spirit that cannot be broken. Every day you wake with intention, speak with faith, and pray with conviction. You reinforce the unseen walls around your life. Every decision made from courage rather than fear, every word spoken from belief rather than doubt, strengthens that shield further. You are not left vulnerable to circumstance. You are not defenseless against attacks. You are a force covered by divine power, walking in light, guided by purpose, and shielded from every plan of darkness. In this space, peace is your constant companion, strength is your natural state, and victory is inevitable. Every prayer you speak is a declaration that darkness no longer has authority over your life. Every word said in faith pushes back unseen forces that have tried to hold you down. You are not passive in your destiny, you are active. You are not waiting for life to happen, you are calling life into existence. When you stand and speak with authority, you shift not only your energy, but the energy surrounding you. Every evil assignment that once loomed over your future begins to dissolve under the weight of your faith. You are claiming what has always been yours: peace, protection, and victory. Your words carry power because they come from belief. The moment you say, "No weapon formed against me shall prosper," you are not reciting a phrase. You are activating your spirit. You are telling every unseen force that your life is not up for negotiation. You are rewriting the narrative that fear tried to dictate. Each affirmation is a spark of divine energy, breaking chains, opening doors, and aligning circumstances with what was always meant to be. Your declarations are not temporary. They create lasting shifts, reshaping your reality from the inside out. Faith is not passive. It requires action, and that action begins with your voice. When you declare protection, when you proclaim victory, when you speak courage into your circumstances, you are moving from helplessness to authority. You are no longer waiting for miracles, you are commanding them. The invisible world responds to conviction. Every time you affirm what is true, every time you call light into darkness, every time you refuse to give power to fear, you are creating momentum that nothing can stop. The enemy may try, but he cannot withstand a spirit that refuses to be silenced. You're designed to walk in authority. Your purpose cannot be stopped by setbacks, failures, or attacks that come without warning. Prayer strengthens this authority. Prayer awakens it. Prayer ensures that every word you speak has weight, every decision you make carries strength, and every step you take is aligned with your divine path. Nothing outside of you has the power to undo what you align yourself with through consistent faith. Every evil assignment can be canceled because you are anchored in power far greater than what threatens you. Think about the transformation that happens when you live with this understanding. Fear no longer dictates your choices. Doubt no longer clouds your mind. Weakness no longer defines your actions. You move forward with clarity, courage, and confidence. The energy around you changes. People respond to your strength. Opportunities align with your purpose. Doors that were once closed begin to open. Life itself bends toward the path of those who refuse to surrender to darkness. Your declarations are the engine of this transformation. Every time you speak faith over your life, you are building a future impervious to attack. Every time you refuse to give in to fear, you are reinforcing the shield that surrounds your spirit. Every word, every affirmation, every prayer is a brick in the foundation of a life that cannot be shaken. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are a victor in the unseen battle, a warrior standing firmly in light while darkness retreats. This is the power you hold when you choose to speak with conviction. Every evil assignment that tried to define you is canceled. Every plan of destruction loses its hold. Every force that hoped to weaken your spirit now meets resistance it cannot overcome. Your voice, your faith, your unwavering declarations are transforming the battlefield around you. You are not just surviving, you are triumphing. You are not just protected. You are unstoppable. Now is the moment to invite divine power into every corner of your life, to close your eyes and speak with intention, to declare that every plan designed to harm you is null and void. There is a force available to you that moves beyond circumstance, beyond understanding, and beyond fear. When you pray with conviction, you are not simply asking for help. You are activating protection, guidance, and strength that cannot be shaken. Every corner of your life, every hidden struggle, every silent threat is exposed to a power far greater than anything it can muster. Imagine your spirit surrounded by light so strong that no shadow can touch it. Imagine your heart filled with peace that remains steady, no matter how loud the storm outside becomes. This is the reality of prayer when it is spoken with purpose. Every word becomes a declaration that your life belongs to hope, to courage, and to divine protection. Darkness may attempt to approach, but it cannot cross the line drawn by faith. Your presence, Your voice, your belief are barriers that cannot be breached. The unseen world reacts to intention. Every time you pray, you are not only calling for safety, you are commanding it. Every time you speak protection over your life, your family, your work, your dreams, you are sending a signal that no evil assignment will prosper. The energy you release through prayer aligns with the higher power that governs all things, creating ripples that reach farther than you can see. No obstacle, no fear, no hidden enemy can withstand the authority that comes from faith-driven prayer. You are stronger than you realize, because you are not alone. Every attack, every obstacle, every moment of doubt meets a presence greater than itself. Your prayers are shields. Your declarations are swords. Your faith is a fortress. And when you combine intention with surrender, you become unstoppable. The enemy may appear relentless, but it cannot stand against a spirit that refuses to yield, a heart that refuses to fear, and a voice that refuses to be silenced. Every time you choose to pray instead of panic, to declare instead of despair, to trust instead of tremble, you are canceling evil assignments without even knowing it. Your words are more powerful than you think. Your belief is more influential than you imagine. Every prayer spoken in faith shifts your reality. Every declaration of protection reshapes your circumstances. And every moment of surrender builds resilience that fear cannot touch. Now is the time to embrace this power fully, to stop holding back, to stop doubting, and to step into a life where faith governs your steps. Let every word you speak be a reflection of your unshakable belief in divine protection. Let every breath you take reaffirm that no plan of darkness can prosper. Let your heart rise above fear, your mind remain focused, and your spirit stand unyielding. You are covered, you are chosen, you are victorious. Close your eyes. Speak the words that will cancel what has been set against you. Feel the light encircle your life. Breathe in peace. Breathe out fear. Every evil assignment loses power the moment you claim what is yours through prayer. Your destiny cannot be derailed. Your spirit cannot be broken. You are standing in authority, walking in strength, and living in the protection of a power that darkness cannot understand. Today, in this moment, you are unstoppable, unshakable, and fully covered.